sheet on our workbook here.
Right? Yep. Timberville Council Order, November 9th, 2023. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank y'all. Let's see. Approval of the minutes. Anyone have a chance to review them? If so, do you have any comments or motions or changes or anything like that? If not, I need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sharon. Go around the room.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
You did talk an awful lot last time.
I'm telling you, I did.
Okay. We'll move down to treasury report. Any questions for Melinda? The only question I have is the police ARPA, have we figured that out yet? What we have to do to get that money back?
Yes.
Okay.
Jeremy has submitted the first quarter reporting for that, so
Okay.
once they approve that, then we should get a check for that amount.
Okay, awesome. Any other questions at all? Do you want to talk about the ARPA stuff now or talk about it?
I'll do it.
Doing your part? Okay. Okay, no questions for treasurer. Now move to bills for payment. Any questions on any line items on the bills? I've been keeping track of trash. That's been my thing lately. And it's just a little bit higher because we had special trash pickup. But anyone else had any other questions about the bills?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, number 19.
Number
I
19.
didn't, even though it was only $4.57. What is that, an MCI long distance?
We don't have long distance on the second line, so if someone uses that, it's long distance.
Oh, okay. And then on 37, what was DMV stops?
It's for personal property taxes. When somebody doesn't pay their taxes, we can put a DMV stop on them, and there's a fee that gets passed on to the customer, and then we have to pay it back to DMV. Because they charge us to put the stop on.
Okay.
But you get reimbursed for
But
it.
we, yes, it gets passed on to the customer, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other? Good to go. You want to make a motion?
Yep, sure. Make a motion, we pay the bills.
Thank you, Sharon. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
And Clarence, around the room?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Chief, what do you got for us today? Anything?
I'm just over here keeping on my Linda from doing her job, sorry. So I had a few things in the email. I guess the biggest thing is working on getting rid of some of the surplus vehicles that were seized from one of the Cadillacs we just sold from hit and runs. We have some from drug dealers, that kind of thing. So they've been sitting in the impound yard, some of them for 5 years. That system worked out well, and we received a check for it. And so $850 for 2 vehicles that were just taking up space in the impound lot. So that worked out well. We'll continue with that. And I taught a class today. I taught civilian response to active shooter events, several places in town. I did that for Timberville Crossing today. I did it for Harrisburg Fire Department, hosted a statewide conference for fire, what's the term they use? So it's administrative professionals in the fire service, basically, from across state. So, Timberville, we have a lot of instructors, we have a lot of knowledge of people, we can share that in town, outside of town. But, that's really it for now.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Election now, we can't do till 7:15. You want to do yours, AC?
Sure. We had the bid opening today for the Sparmine Waterline project. Bids were submitted with a base bid and then a rock unit price, so that, and the rock unit price is about, the engineer figured in 30% of the project is being rock. That way we could evaluate all of the proposals fairly. Based on our project list, we were showing budget numbers of $366,000 for materials and construction. That's at the very bottom of the first sheet of this, has all the green on it. That's where the spar line water main extension, the construction part of that starts. That means we've already, you can see what we already spent is $133,000 and some change on that, out of that budgeted amount.
That's all the materials.
That's all the materials and the tree service for clearing out the trees. And so that would leave us with $232,773 of our originally budgeted amount. The total, the bids were, let's see here. So they ranged from, our lowest bid came in at $325,875. So that means we will have to allocate or add on about $100,000 to that project to cover the cost of that. The bids ranged from $325,000 up to almost $800,000. So I was, honestly, after we had our pre-bid meeting, I was very happy with the $325,000 number that came in. And being in a pre-bid meeting, hearing the contractors talk about rock and other issues, I was afraid that we weren't going to get out of it, under $400,000. So we will go ahead and, if you look at that sheet, if you go all the way to the very bottom, the bottom of the very last sheet, you can see that we are showing the remainder unallocated is $162,000 and change. So if we take $100,000 out of that, put it towards that project, and then some of the projects that we have in here are more construction type projects. So based on the way things are going, I have a feeling that $62,000 will probably get used up somewhere. So for practical purposes, we could just say that all the funds have been allocated at this point. Everything has to be allocated by 2024, and it has to be spent by 2026. So at least we're getting into some of the bigger projects and get those knocked out before it runs down to the wire. So we'll see how everything else shakes out and see if we have to start reevaluating our list and maybe cut things off the bottom that aren't as high priority as some of these others that we've identified. Anybody have any questions on?
And the bathroom's gonna come out, we got 50,000 from the county, so that'll add to the bottom. If everything, that's 50,000 slush we have.
Right, exactly.
So there still may be monies after we get on this to spend, but it's not gonna be hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's probably $100,000, maybe, if everything goes perfectly.
So we don't want to over allocate, it's just we'll work here back, and if we get down to getting these projects completed and see where we have funds left over, then we can figure out some projects to allocate it towards at that point. The salt spreader for the large dump truck has been purchased. The VDOT snow removal contract has been amended and approved by VDOT, which places that vehicle into a higher reimbursement tier. So by adding the town-owned spreader, we'll receive $50 more per hour on the rate for that vehicle. So I don't like snow, but the more snow we have, the quicker we'll be able to pay off the salt spreader with the reimbursement from VDOT. But it was good that at least, because we got that spreader after we initially submitted and had the original snow removal contract approved. So it was good that they let us go back in and amend that and gave us that higher rate. So. Everybody's probably familiar or has hopefully heard about the water bill issue. The water bills were mailed on October 31st, which is our calendar. The bills went to the United States Postal Service sorting distribution facility in Maryfield, Virginia, which is where they're supposed to be sorted. They were sent back to Timberville, not sorted. They have to be sorted for the mail carriers to receive credit when they deliver these items of mail. So they were sent back to the Maryfield facility to be sorted. That was the second trip up there. They came back again, still unsorted. At that point, because they were running so far behind getting the water bills delivered, the post office decided to just go ahead and send them out with the carriers. I guess they didn't get credit for it. I know the post office has our local post office has registered a complaint with the regional or national headquarters, whatever it might be, about that, how the process got so messed up. And we're going to do the same thing. They told us there's an 800 complaint number on the website, so we're going to call that and tell them what kind of issue it created. We have, because of those delays, we did decide to extend the due date for regular usage water bills until the 27th, Monday, November 27th. Any accounts that have outstanding delinquent balances on them are still going to be due on the 15th because they've known about those for 2 months now, 3 months, 3 months probably. Just a little bit of additional information on this topic. We have approximately 1,350 accounts, give or take 5 or 10, depending on move-ins and move-outs, that receive a bill each billing cycle. With our new system out in front and the ability to e-bill and e-pay, we only mail 831 physical paper bills this time, which that means about 38% of our customers are signed up for electronic bill delivery, which is really good. That great usage, it helps the town save because we don't have to buy bill cards that we mail out, plus the postage, which is actually really the expensive part of it, which keeps going up. So the more people, and the front office staff does a great job of, anytime a customer comes in that's not signed up for it, they really, it's kind of a sales pitch, try to get them to sign up for it. It's easier to get the bills out to them, and you don't have the chances of them getting lost in the mail or not getting delivered. But it also saves the town money on the mailing of those too. So,
A quick question, I signed up for it, I get a text and an email, but I still get my card. Does it take a while for that to drop off?
No, you should, so you're getting all three.
I get all 3.
Okay, I'll take care of that.
I really know my bills bill. Over and over.
Do you not receive your bill that in
I
the
don't
mail?
need it, I don't need it.
Okay,
Because I just write a check when that text shows up.
okay.
If we're saving money on the card thing, you know, by people paying online and so forth, saving some money here and there, could we drop the 2% charge for paying online and so forth?
we would have to look at, I'm not sure what that would figure up to be as a whole, to see what it would cost the town. I'll look that up though
I
and see.
think more people would probably do it that way. I mean,
Is that what it costs to pay online is 2%? Is that what?
I think so.
It's 3.5% to pay with a card online through Invoice Cloud.
3.5.
Yeah.
It's a finance charge.
Well, old people like me, every penny counts.
But that's coming from the credit card
Yeah,
company,
you don't
right?
have to pay online to get an e-bill. You can still pay in the office. You just get your bill
No,
electronically.
no,
But we can check and see, I mean,
Yeah.
it's easy to call it in
And see what- what that amount would be.
Yeah.
I met with Gretchen Hazard this week. If you all remember, Gretchen came in and spoke to the council several months ago about her property and the oldest building in Timberville.
Right.
She informed me that she will be having a contractor coming in next Monday to begin demolition of some of the buildings on her property, and one of those slated to be raised is the old log structure, the oldest building. I'm going to go down and visit her property on Monday and try to meet with the contractor. She invited me to come down and asked if we could use any of the, if the town would be interested in any of the salvageable material. So I'm going to go down and meet with the contractor on Monday and see what of that building can be saved, and we'll take it down to the town shop and figure out how to use it in some future project, a commemorative historic project.
The museum,
Do what?
build it back at the museum.
Yeah, we'll have to see what condition it's in, because she said a lot of the logs inside have got worm or bugs in them. There was apparently a fire inside of that building at one point, and so a lot of the structure is probably not rebuildable using the original stuff. But that was kind of my thought too: is there something that we can use the material for that is salvageable to rebuild and to preserve? Monday.
Let me know.
Okay.
We could store it in the basement of the museum.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That would be a good option. Quentin's office sent the required notice to the owner of the property at the corner of Church and Main Street, informing them of the town's intent to sell that property. To satisfy the lien, they have the option to enter into a payment agreement with the town. Proof of that delivery, proof of the letter being delivered has been received, and we haven't heard anything from the property owner yet, so,
Yeah, we're just in that 30-day time frame.
yeah. Chris, Derek, and I met recently to review the information we had about the free water line that was discussed at the last council meeting. We believe we've identified all the properties that are currently not being billed for water usage, and I'm going to get that information over to Quentin as he works on his end of the research, so that we make sure that we capture, or at least look at all of the properties that are receiving free water. And at this month's meeting of the Planning Commission, they will be interviewing 2 individuals interested in serving on the board. Planning Commission will formulate a recommendation and send that to council, that council will be able to act on at next month's regular council meeting. They are also going to take into consideration a request for a short-term rental on Church Street. And I think that's all that I have, which is probably plenty.
Well, what about the appointments are later? Okay.
Yeah, appointments are we're going to do later.
Okay, so AC, you want to, it's quarter after, so we can do the budget amendments. You want to just go, it's basically the monies that we spent of ARPA that we hadn't budgeted that came up, and do you know exactly what that is?
The total amount is $378,999.89. And those items are all on this sheet. If you look over the next to the last column, it says FY for fiscal year at the top. Anything that's marked as 22-23, that would be the fiscal year that this amendment would be taking, that we're having a public hearing for and considering the amendment for.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for AC? It's just easier to have, since we have to have an amendment anyway, it's just easier to add it on at the end of the year when we know exactly what it is we've done. And we'll have to do this again this year, and maybe not as much the year after that. As we should have.
If we get some of these big projects out of the way this year, then the amounts will be looking much less.
Any questions for AC before I open up for public comment? Okay. We'll open up for public comment. If anyone has any questions on the budget amendment, please come forward and ask your question. Public comments closed. That was easy enough. So we need a motion to amend the budget by, is there a number, or by what was it? $399,000?
$378,999.89.
So a budget of $378,999.89.
Make a motion to amend the budget, the $378,999.89.
There you go.
There,
Thank
I wrote it down.
you. Sarah, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Yeah, I said, go around the room, all in favor?
Yes.
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 Okay. We'll move down to business industry. Anything new?
Nothing, I don't believe so. I don't believe it's anything new to report.
None of the rumors have panned out yet?
I have information on some stuff, but it's nothing that I can release at this time.
Okay, okay. Parks and Rec. I don't know, we really got, they're working on the stage, you're trying to get through that. Not totally happy with the
Extension.
that the vendor did, but the guys know how to fix it, so they're gonna, we went back 3 times, and now we're just gonna have to go ahead and fix it ourselves and make it right. But it looks really good, but I think that's the only thing we have on
That
Parks
would
and
be
Rec.
very nice.
Okay.
And it will be ready for the Winter Festival, which is December 2nd and 3rd.
And who's playing?
Spencer Hatcher.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if you're around, come by.
Yeah, Cecilia's been hard at work. I know when getting all the vendors lined up. I think are we full?
Getting close.
I know it's real close to being full, so hopefully another good event this year.
Good deal, good deal. Anything else on Parks and Rec? I guess the flowers are done for? They're done?
Yeah, cleaned out the fire.
They've given up?
Yeah, Monday when Interstate 81 was going through Timberville.
The parade, they had a parade for you?
Yeah, I counted 30 tractor and trailers.
At least. Okay. Finance, you've already taken care of finance, anything else?
The audit is, we're wrapping up the tail end of that, and probably will have the audit reports, let's see, they're waiting on stuff from us, is that
Yeah.
right? So I guess if we get it back over to them, if I get it back over to them soon enough, they may have the audit report by next month, possibly. So,
Okay. And I still want to have, we still, once you figure out verify the forecast, what we have left over, let's get together and just talk about it in general, what the needs of the town are, so, you know what I mean, down the road,
Yeah.
what we're looking at, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I don't know when, holidays aren't a great time, but maybe right after the holidays, we can get together for a couple hours, have dinner and talk about some things, do some brainstorming. Now personnel, I knew we have quite a few board appointments to be done.
As I mentioned, the planning commission will be interviewing two individuals for that board next month. And I don't remember if I put it in there, but the planning commission can have 5 to 15 members. Right now, we have 4, so potentially appoint those as the individuals that are interested. So that recommendation will come for next month's meeting here. We have 3 vacancies on the EDA. Christian Herrick and Shay Alexander have expressed interest, and after I sent out the email with the responses I got, I would ask that council consider appointing both of those individuals for terms to run through June 30th, 2027.
That's for the EDA.
That's for the EDA.
What was the other one? We can maybe do them all one time.
And then the BZA, let's do them separate, because
Okay.
you all can do a direct appointment to the EDA.
Oh.
The BZA is going to be more of I think, is more of a recommendation to the courts to
Oh.
appoint.
The court has to
The
appoint.
members, so
Okay.
better to do them separate, I would think.
Any questions about the EDA appointments? And we need a motion.
I make a motion to approve both Christian Herrick and Shay Alexander to the EDA.
And we still need more, right? We still
Need
need,
one more.
so after we do this, we still need one more person, if someone can think of somebody.
I have somebody who, if they are moving, they're having a house built now that potentially
Okay.
will be in the county, which qualifies as immediately adjacent.
Yeah, that's the thing too, for the EDA, you don't have to live, you just have to live adjacent to town, so you can live outside of town. Okay, we have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we'll go around the room.
Yes.
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 Okay, we'll move down, so again, we need, the more people we can get involved, the better off we are.
So we need,
One
I think,
more.
one more for EDA. EDA is set at 7.
The board, the planning commission
Planning
could have
commission
more of
Could
someone.
have more, yeah. 5 to
Yeah.
7 is usually a good number for a planning commission.
In BZA,
And BZA, we have Todd Thomas, who is a former council member, would like to be considered for appointment to the BZA.
and that would be with Mike and
Kevin.
Kevin.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so that would get us up to the minimum of 3. You have to have either 3, 5, or 7 members on the BZA. We would like to have 5. We'd always had 5 before when it was a joint board between Timberville and Broadway. 3 will get us 5, but with people potentially being out or whatever the case may be, but 5 is a good number for BZA. Okay. 5 sets of eyes looking at a request. It's a good number to have on there.
And just give a little, so people who listen know, BZA happens once or twice a year.
At the most,
At the most.
historically, some years we had the BZAs never met. The BZA, basically, what they do is they hear, they can either, if I make a decision as a zoning administrator that they don't agree with, they can appeal to the BZA and try to get that decision overturned. And I think I've had maybe one of those in all the years. The other is to request a variance, and that's what typically the BZA meets to hear variances. Whether, I don't have enough side yard to, Mr. Gray had that, I think that was our last variance request was for an accessory building, and they didn't have the room necessary on the side, so they requested a variance to our side yard requirements. And so that was our most recent one. But it's typically things, it's kind of limited as to what a variance can be, what kind of variance can be requested. But it's typically yard requirements, structure size, things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, historically it's been very infrequent that the BZA's met. And the meetings are usually not very long at all.
And they're court appointed.
Yes, so the council would have to make a motion if you so choose to recommend Todd Thomas as an appointee to the BZA, and then the court would actually have to appoint him to the BZA. And Quentin's working on all the whole other end of getting that all, the current one resolved and then reestablished and.
Yeah, I've been talking to the attorney for the town of Broadway, and right now, we're gonna try and simultaneously dissolve and create new ones at the same time, basically. So if anything were to come up right now, we haven't abolished the current BZA so that they could hear it. But I've talked to them a couple times, and they are, we already have an ordinance, we're gonna adopt basically the same, you know what I mean? Do the same thing here that they're doing there, so there's no confusion.
And Todd Thomas was a former councilman, so he's pretty aware of the ins and outs of
Familiar with the town operation.
planning committee, planning and stuff like that.
Probably Carl's the only one that remembers Todd.
Oh, really? You remember? Carl remembers him?
Yeah. I mean, he has very high standards, and he's the pastor of the Nazarene Church here on 211.
Yeah.
You need
I need a motion.
I make a motion that we nominate Todd Thomas to the BZA.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Go around the room.
Yes.
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 Awesome.
Thank you all.
Okay, so again, if people have other people interested in BZA, we need to find two of them. And just ask around. I've started asking, and people have started saying yes. So if you see somebody and you think they're interested,
Yeah, I appreciate Don's help.
put their bug in their ear and see if they volunteer.
I appreciate Don's help on coming up with some of the ideas for these appointments. Took his time out and went out and talked to a few people. So
It's worked out.
appreciate
It's
that.
worked
Yes,
out.
it is.
Okay, that's all for personnel? Good?
I think so. We've got some employees on vacation for that time of year, sometime. So,
Yeah.
but it is, Oh, one thing on personnel. I know at the last meeting Isaac brought up about the police department and time off and things like that. And I never got with JR. I was going to ask him, and so I'll ask him now if he can start putting together some information as far as cost of hiring a new officer. Because you have all that information, I think, from previous hires as far as equipment and things like that. I can look at salary, and that's an easy number for me to pull out of salary and look at what we budgeted for part-time officers. I think the mayor said it probably at the last meeting. It's kind of what can we afford. So we have to get all of those peripheral costs that are associated with the new hire and see what it would add up to.
One of the large costs, startup costs for adding an officer, because we've done it twice since I've been here, is a vehicle, which we can avoid that problem right now because the ARPA money we got for the PD is replacing 2 vehicles, and we're keeping one as a spare. So in theory, if somehow miraculously we can finance adding an officer, we actually do have a spare vehicle that's going to be used for part-time officers, and when we have a vehicle in the shop, but it could be allocated for an additional officer if we're able to fund an officer position. So you're looking at saving $50,000 or so from startup cost of adding a position if you were to reallocate that vehicle in that way.
Not that we ever have vehicles in the shop.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Again, it's something we can add to our list and talk about possibilities in the future.
Yeah. But yeah, if you can start getting those peripheral costs and stuff. I may have it somewhere, but I'm not accessible. Thank you.
Okay, Plains District Memorial Museum, got anything for us, Sharon?
Last Sunday, we had the first responders program. That was very well attended, and they did a fantastic job, didn't they? Yeah. And that display will still be up till January.
Awesome.
That's it. Oh, and if anyone would like to donate to our bake sale for the Christmas Winter Fest, the museum would appreciate it.
Just monetary donations, or are you looking for supplies?
Baked goods.
Okay.
You need to bake a cake.
I put my kids on that. They love it.
You may, okay, good.
Now you've gone too far. Okay,
I can bake a cake.
I can't make a cake. Ready? Now, I was trying to remember, I did go back. I was going to ask you when you came in to talk about, I had some questions for you, but I cannot remember what those questions were.
I have a question for you too.
I didn't go back and listen to the video again, but I guess I can't ask you now. There was something we were talking about last time, and I can't remember.
You're not thinking about the water corporation that we were talking about, are you?
I can't remember.
Because I looked for a month and I just couldn't find anything else that, we'll start out with that. So
I'll say that's what it was then.
I think that's probably what you're
Okay.
thinking about, probably.
Okay.
But on January 25th, 1916, an agreement was reached between the Timberville Water Corporation and the Southern Railway Company for the corporation to provide water for the locomotives at Timberville. Water to be provided would be from 50,000 to 75,000 gallons daily for a flat rate of $2 per day. The contract would be for 5 years. Now, last month, I couldn't find anything written down except this. But I think years ago, some of the older folks, I think they were about my information, that the water corporation started in 1908. And it also said it was sold in 1916. Well, in 1916, they signed an agreement with the water corporation and the railway company. But that don't mean it was sold, that don't mean the contract couldn't have been taken care of. So I just don't, but if you want a little speculation, I think some of the houses, and they said 8 houses is what was on the water corporation. And of course, that had been down around the C Street area because that's where the well was. So we're talking about Mr. McCauley's house, John Hoover built the house, and he's the one that started the bank. He was the first bank president for 30 years, and he was into everything in Timberville. And I almost bet that he was one of them that started that corporation. And then George Chris lived down on C Street. He had the first orchard around this area, and he was a pretty important guy. I wouldn't be surprised if those two guys weren't at least part of the group that started that. And that's just speculation. And then the house beside Mrs. Heights' house, where Mr. Green, that used to be on the council, lived, that house was built in 1906, and the water corporation started in 1908. I wouldn't be surprised if that house wasn't one of them. But this is just all speculation. I can't prove it. I think where I got my information was years ago, one of the older folks in town told me the dates and about the 8 houses on it all. But
I would
I
say.
did a little research on.
yeah, you said you had some.
So we had documents in here of when the water corporation disbanded and the town took it over. That was 1960.
Yeah.
60.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was when the town acquired all the assets of the Timberville Water Corporation.
Well, you said a while ago that you thought you had found everybody that had free water. Well, that would be what we're looking for. You have, or are you talking about?
No, this is off of the lines out.
That's what I thought.
Out
Right on that. So you didn't have any down around the C Street area, because that's what really we need to find out. And I don't know whether we ever can or not.
But your theory of all those houses are around the well is probably right.
Yeah, and all the houses that's old enough, and of course, it's a pretty old house
Yeah,
down
they're
there.
built around the well.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah. All right, William G. Thompson was appointed postmaster of Timberville on February 5th, 1835. And I got one more thing, the population of Timberville over the years.
Okay.
1880, 112 people. 1900, 173. 1910, 240. 1920, 277. 1930, 302. 1940, 253. 1950, 271, which is less than 1930.
Yeah.
And I'm figuring the Second World War, a lot of the guys were away. That's my,
I'm sure that's what it would be.
in 1960, 412. 1970, 959.
Wow.
Almost 133% increase.
It's a big growth.
So that was a big jump. In the 2000 census, the population density of Timberville was 1,968 people per square mile. That's all.
Do you remember what the comments that you put in the Chronicle this month was?
Last month? What'd you say?
For this month? In,
No, I just give them to Tammy, and she decides what she wants to put in.
oh, okay. But it was, what was the date when the temperature was 19 degrees below zero? And people were skating on the
I
river?
don't remember that date, but I remember in 1948, down the Will Hoover Park, down along the river, it was 40 below. That was unofficial. But the lowest official temperature around there was January the 14th, 1912, I think, and that was 25 below zero. Now, that's official. But the 40 below down in Will Hoover was a preacher, so you know it's got to be right. But that was 1948, I do remember that.
Thank you, sir. Any other business to council add? Oh, you have something?
I want to thank Mrs. Bowman for calling me the other day with a great suggestion about the odor when some of the local agricultural facilities are spreading the liquid manure. If we can get in contact with them and find out, have them notify us so that we can post it on our social media. And this is what the smell is.
That's a good idea.
So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. That's a great suggestion.
Well, that will follow up from the mayor's visit to my house, that's all I have to say.
Okay.
He's getting tired of my phone, my texts, comments.
We just came with a different system. Okay, any other business?
Do we want to touch base briefly after the meeting, talk about the VML conference? Get together about the VML conference, or has that been decided?
No, not yet. We haven't.
Yeah. I don't have my stuff to me anyway, so we'll have to get another day. But we have to get together.
I just figured since we were all four in the same room.
Before we lose it all. Okay, any public comment? We have a couple publics.
Well, I thought you were gonna say something about the cafe and about VPAS.
I can, but I don't remember all the dates. It's the first and third Wednesday, and I went down for a pancake and sausage supper.
Breakfast.
Breakfast. I now found out my wife signed me up. I was thinking I'm not old enough for that, and come to find out I am old enough for that. But it was very enjoyable. I think we had 15 people down there, and there's something coming up on the third Wednesday, and it's at lunchtime. Is that correct?
That's the cafe.
The cafe, yeah. I'm new to it, so I'm not the expert yet. But I go a couple times and become an expert.
But there are several things going on in the community center that I wish we could get the word out about. And Colleen and I have been talking about how you can get the word out that things are going on. She gets emails from Mount Jackson and...
I did like newsletters. You sign up for a newsletter online, and it's like Newmarket and Broadway and Mount Jackson. And I would, if someone from, I know that the office people are extremely busy, but if they could just reach out to the little towns around here that have a newsletter and just get some feedback and information, how to create it and all that stuff. Sure, not everyone has access to the computer.
Right.
I mean, people will say, well, just go online and do it. Well, people who don't have computers and then are not computer illiterate, what do? They're in the dark.
Right.
I mean, how do people find out about the Christmas Village thing or anything else that's going on? I know it's word of mouth, sure, but a lot of information gets lost. And I don't want to be critical, but the sign out there, for the life of me, I cannot read that. I can be sitting at the sign out there, and I can be looking at it, and I don't know if it's the colors or if it's the font or what it is, but I cannot read it. I can go down Main Street and Broadway, and theirs is just crystal clear, and
It must be fun, because ours is a better system than theirs, I think, or at least it's good. We'll have to look into that and see.
yeah, I mean, just park over there and look at it, and then go down Broadway's main road and just compare it. I don't know if it's my eyes or what, but it's just.
Might be the colors or something.
We also have it,
It's there, yeah.
I don't know if it changes or not, but when we had it put in, I asked Cecilia to make sure that she set it so the intensity of the sign wasn't as bright, because I know driving down past the high school, at nighttime, you almost drive off the road, especially with like a white background, you know. So I asked her to make sure that the intensity of the sign was less, but I'll have to see if it's all the time, or if it's just, if she does just have it set for nighttime, if that's an option. It may be something like that, where in the daytime we could crank the intensity up more, it might make it more visible.
Okay. Because it's like, here are the letters in one color, and then there's another color around it, and it's just conflicting colors.
It could be a formatting issue, like that's something I've dealt with formatting issues with my other jobs, and it could just be as simple as just like, it's not in the right format, in like the ideal format, or, you know, there's a science behind, you know, what colors you need, like you need high contrast colors, and, you know, it's definitely something that's tweakable, and,
Okay.
yeah.
And if the notices could be on just a few more seconds, or just a little bit longer so you can read it.
Yeah, that's easy enough to, I know that's easy enough to fix, we can definitely set the
Okay.
the
I mean,
time.
I don't want to complain, but if I can't read them, I don't know if anybody.
No, if it improves it, we want it to be used.
I mean, that's why we put it out there, so people could
Right.
use it, so we can use it to get information out to the residents and citizens.
Well, Paula, explain this then, because this is online. Explain about VPAS.
Valley Program for Aging Services offers programs for all the towns and the communities.
Right.
And you mentioned, one of our meetings, maybe a couple months ago, that you had contacted someone at VPAS about a Tai Chi class. And nobody was interested, or nobody, I don't remember exactly what
They
you
said they would get back to me.
Oh, they said that was when you contacted Beth. Okay, well, she is now over all the counties, so she's in the #1 position. Joyce Nussbaum, who's been talking to AC about having things over at the community center, is the person who sets these up now and is over our area. And I talked with her, well, in fact, just today again. If we want to have something like that come in, we have to get people to commit to it, because you can't bring someone in to do an instruction like that and have just 3 or 4 people. It just can't do it, because there's no charge to us to do it. But if we want to have it, and that's what we were saying, how do we get the word out to find out if people will come?
But what's this about the cafe?
The cafe
Explain
is one thing that they offer. They have it on the, like Don said, the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays of the month. They have the cafe. And they had a special breakfast. That was something special that they offered. That was, I don't know what day it was, one day last week.
It was Wednesday,
Yeah.
but they have it, it's in 4 different areas, 4 different community centers.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what they discussed on that day. It isn't just lunch or something. What did she say? The title was,
For the next one,
yeah.
well, I can't be there, so I didn't.
There was a title of what they're going to discuss and what they're going to talk about, but
Okay, what's the time? I mean, I can get some word out. What
was
time?
it 11:30? I need to get some more
We'll get-
information.
I know Cecilia-
We'll get information, we'll put it on the
Okay,
board.
just email.
Yeah, yeah, Cecilia's, I know Cecilia's got
Yeah.
contact with VPAS, so I'll check with her,
We'll
to get that
put it on the
information.
board, we'll have Sarah work with helping get the contrast right, we'll slow it down.
Okay, so do they charge
For the
people?
VPAS. The VPAS programs, there is no charge for. If Parks and Rec.
For the lunch?
No,
No charge.
no, there's no charge.
And it's catered by somebody, basically.
By
Get
the
it from someone.
place,
A different place.
Gift and Thrift, or right beside Gift and Thrift, that.
Bowl of Good?
Bowl of Good.
Uh,
They do the food.
Forget it.
They
Oh,
donate
no,
the
come
food.
on, they have good things. It's a very simple lunch.
It's like a
A wrap.
turkey wrap and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not their exotics.
No, it's not quinoa.
Quinoa with corn.
Some people like quinoa.
I like quinoa, but because they contracted with Meals on Wheels.
But is it Tai Chi that you wanted to come in, or
Yes.
was it
Tai Chi.
yoga? It wasn't
Tai
yoga.
Chi.
Okay. If we can get enough people.
I had 5 people that was willing to do it.
Well, we were at bingo over there this morning, the Parks and Rec has at the community center, and after it was over, there were 26 of us there. And I asked if any of the people were interested in a Tai Chi, and 4 ladies said yes. 2 of them gave me their names and phone numbers, so I do have 2 more. But what they would like to do is to come in and do an introductory session. In other words, talk to us, tell us what it's all about, and see if people will commit. Because you can't, like I said, you don't want to just have people come sporadically, you want them to be committed to it. And if we do it on 2 days a week, which is what they wanted to know, how often you wanted it, once a week or twice.
Once.
These ladies said twice a week, and to really get it, oh, you don't think so? Well, it's so many sessions, it's like 16 sessions or something like that.
Right. Have you ever taken Tai Chi?
No.
I've lost.
You get an
I've lost control
elderly
of that one.
person 2 days a week, they won't come back the second.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, we can work out the details.
Yes.
We had a separate council meeting here.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Well, there was other business.
we're public comment. Any other public comment?
We've got, so, Mr. and Mrs. Bowman are here, Mrs. Gray's here, Dad's here. We have one more audience member, and I'm gonna put him on the spot.
Okay,
He's not even paying attention.
not paying attention. We're talking
Would you mind
about.
introducing yourself, please?
Yeah, my name's Fazan. I actually just moved to this area from Michigan. I'm the community liaison at Pilgrims.
Okay,
Yeah, just started September 25th, so definitely getting more familiarized with the area, still have a lot to learn. But it's so nice to be a part of this community and to get to know each and every one of you over time. Very excited.
well, welcome.
Welcome.
Anything else?
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank y'all.